Waiguru Fateh. Welcome to the show, my show. I hope you guys have been keeping well and keeping safe. And we've been talking so much about different things, and today we're actually going to go into more about relationships itself and the understanding of it, the commitment behind it, what it all means. So we get a better understanding and a better knowledge. And on today's show, I'm really excited. Wait. Let me introduce him for you. His name is Aman, and he's joining us today. He also joined us on last week's show, but this week we have got him all to ourselves. So welcome back to the show, Aman. Thank you so much for joining us today. How are you? Okay?
I'm good, man. Just chilling, enjoying the weather. It feels like it's been winter for about years, and the sun's come out. So yeah. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. So today on our show, we wanted to talk to you about, we've spoken so much about lava, but we actually wanted to talk and dig down about the meaning of, getting married to each other and, getting a better understanding of it ideally. When the first thing that we talk about is marriages, lava, and the wedding, what's the first thing that comes into your mind when we talk about that?
महाराज तन पर एहन आखियन बहन इकट्ठे होए एक जोत दोए मूर्ति तन पर गई सोए. Maharaj says that, listen, those aren't married who just merely sit together. Yeah, those are married who, whilst they exist next to each other, they actually have one soul that exists in two bodies. You can't say that they're married just because they are husband and wife. You can say that they're married when they become, and I think that's just so forward thinking. That is just such an advancement on our understandings of what it means to have true love, and it really brings home to me how romantic and how romanticized the Anand Karaj is that was given to us by Guru Ram Das Ji Maharaj. Something which I think is massively overlooked when it comes to a deeper understanding of relationships in Sikh Dharma, in weddings in Sikh Dharma. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and so when of course, with our religion, it's quite different, isn't it? Compared to other faiths. We've said this before. It's not just about making a commitment. You're not standing in front of each other and making a commitment with each other. The commitment is, yes, you are making a commitment to each other, but you're also making a commitment to Guruji. From my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong on that. What's your understanding of it?
100%. So in that first love, when we are blessed by Guru Sahib to be invited to the Guru Karaj to take lava from the Guru, right? Wow, what an amazing gift! In that first of the four loves, in the first of the four commitments, encirclements, steps that we take towards the Guru, we say Sat Gur Gurpura Aradho Sabkil Vik Pap Gavaya. Maharaj is saying to us, stand and walk with your partner and encircle the Guru, Sadguru Gurpura Aradho, and properly worship the Guru. So it's different because I think we touched on this just last week, but just briefly because I think it's so wonderful. If you think about sort of a Christian wedding ceremony, which we might see in the movies, which we might see in Hollywood, you see a bride and a groom facing each other, right? And they're facing each other, and the head of God is standing to their side, that the priest or whoever it is, the person of greatest respect is actually standing in front to the side of them, and the attention is between the two that are getting married, right? And if you look at other wedding ceremonies, it's very contractual. So in the Islamic faith, my understanding is that there's a contract essentially which is entered into between a husband and a wife, but in Sikh Dharma, it's just not like that, man. If you look at it, it's so beautiful. In Sikh Dharma, in Sikhi, when a husband and wife are getting married, they're actually sitting side by side, not facing each other, but they sit side by side facing the Guru. And it's like, we're getting married, but the most important person at all times, let's not forget, is Guru Sahib. And so Guru Sahib is sitting in front of them. And even whilst they get married, during the course of those four physical steps of becoming one, of undertaking that union, the couple are not facing each other at any time. They're just encircling the Guru, and what they're essentially saying is Maharaj, we are deciding, we're being blessed to take you as the center of our life. And I think I mentioned it last week, like just as the earth goes and orbits the sun, goes around the sun, right? Taking acknowledging that the sun is the giver of all life, that should that earth stray out into the solar system and not orbit the sun, that it will be it would be destitute, that it would die, and that all life would cease to exist, right? Just as the earth would continually go around the sun, the giver of life, as Sikh, we continually orbit the Guru. Even in our wedding, it's about that sadgar, that respect to our Guru, because the Guru is the center of our life. The Guru is the one that can give us all the sukh, all the love, all of the bliss that we need to sustain our married life, and, to be fair, any relationship, any prosperous relationship in this world. So for me,
Mm.
the Anand Karaj is so forward thinking, and it's so different to any other wedding ceremony in that regard.
And it's also interesting, isn't it? Like how we get married, especially in our generation compared to our old generation. ਅੱਗੇ ਏਦਾਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਕਿ ਕੋਈ problem ਵੀ ਆਣੀ relationship ਵਿੱਚ, ਕੋਈ bad time ਵੀ ਆਣਾ. Our parents and our grandparents would never leave each other. They would. Divorce was not even a name. It's not even in Sanskrit. I've never read it anywhere to be seen. Like when I think I was, and then this is slightly off topic, but I do watch Bollywood movies, and I was watching a movie, and in the movie they said, what's the akshar of divorce? Is there a word for divorce in Hindi? And they said talaq, and they said no, that's not the word for for divorce, because there's no actual word in Punjabi or Hindi. There's nothing written, because divorce isn't a thing in Guru Maharaj. So back in our old times, when we had our parents and grandparents, they would get divorced, and that was their devotion to actually Guruji and to each other. So jida marji or kasoka time hobe, they would stick it throughout thick and thin. So nowadays, it's you get married and you have your lava, but then people, it all falls apart, and it turns very nasty very, very quick. Why is that? Why is there a lack of understanding of that?
I think it's unfair. Look, we're not here to judge anybody and their individual situation, so it's wrong for me to give a blanket answer as to why everybody that will cover every situation, why a breakdown in a
Mm,
relationship takes place. So I'm not going to do that. But what I will say is this. Um, that with, I don't know, Guru Sahib in their kindness has given us this chance to do seva, to do gatha, and the nature of this seva is that we get to meet a lot of people, and they ask us questions, and they tell us about their problems. Not that I'm
mm,
worthy, not that I'm worthy to try and help people, but we try our best, right? And a growing trend, I think, that is existing, is a lack of understanding of a basic concept, which is gratitude and appreciation. And when there's a lack of gratitude and appreciation, there will always be a decay in a relationship. So if you
mm,
look at any relationship that prospers in your life, just putting marriage aside just for 1 second, right? A relationship between you and your nanny, between you and your mother, between you and that person who's your rock, it might be your father or your older brother, right? The reason that relationship prospers is because you say, I cannot live without that person. Because why? Because you're concentrating on their gun, on their qualities, on their virtues, right?
mm,
But I think, and this is just my view, and this is, I need to clarify this. This is not based on a sort of scripture. This is just based on my perspective and what I see. I see that when people are getting married now, it's become almost like a shopping list where they're going down the aisles. He's got this, she's got that, he's got this, she's got that,
mm,
and it's removed the essence of appreciation, and it's really about what kind of a bargain you're going to get. I don't mean in terms of wealth. I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about whatever it is that you might have on the bucket list of what you think a person should be. And when you're talking about what a person should be, equally in your mind, you're constantly thinking about what they're not. And
mm.
throughout this whole exercise is a lack of gratitude and appreciation. And
Yeah.
I'll be completely honest with you. I've been married for 15 years now. I've been suffering for 15 years now. I'm just joking. No, no. I've been married for 15 years now, right? And it was only when we started understanding the deeper meanings behind the bit behind the Guru Mantra. The Guru Mantra is Vaheguru, right?
Mm,
And the Vaheguru Mantra is got so much bakshish in it. The first akkar of that mantra is Vava, right? And Vava essentially means wow, wonderful, amazing. In other words, be in a state of constant appreciation, right?
yeah.
So Maharaj is saying that if you want to connect with God, Vaheguru, let's start with Vava. Let's start with being in a constant state of adulation, appreciation, of gratitude, of thankfulness. And I truly believe this, right? That when you're entering into a wedding, when you're entering into a relationship blessed by the Guru, the Guru is sanctified that. And for you to look at your partner and seek out the virtue in that person, to seek out the qualities in
Mm.
that person, will always be to your benefit, not to theirs. Because whilst you're looking at the virtues in that person, your heart will be full of appreciation, love, and gratitude. But if we're not looking from a place of gratitude, of Vahiguru, if we're not looking at it from the place of gratitude and we're looking at it in terms of a shopping list by reference to what an Instagram influencer says you should have in this person, and then there's a list of things what should exist, right? Then you're looking at it as a consumer. Now, just think about it for a second. If you're looking at your partner as a consumer, yeah, which is what you would have in your mind when you're going to a shop to buy something, right? How is love going to blossom from that? As opposed to
Mm.
if you're looking at your partner from a place of vismad, a place of absolute appreciation, and so going back to your question, I've sort of answered it I've gone around the houses a bit, but in essence, what I'm saying is, I think that there's a lack. Your question was, why do you think divorce has increased? Why do you think there's a breakdown in relationships? And
Mm.
I think that I think in essence there is going to be a lot of problems where there is less gratitude. And if you look back a generation ago, right, how excited did we get when we were 5 years old when someone said, "Do you want to go to the park?" You'd be like,
Yeah.
"Yes, I'll go to the park." You know, someone said, "Look, shall I take you to the corner shop? I'll buy you a dairy milk." You're like, "Yo, I would love a
Yeah.
dairy milk right now. That'd be amazing." Yeah. If someone goes to take you to the shop and you buy a packet of Hubba Bubba, yeah, you are bouncing 8 foot in the sky. Yeah. You're like
Remember
over the moon. Yeah, but that just isn't there because
that.
there's a lack of being present in that moment and being grateful, right? And so you say to a 10-year-old right now, "Should I go to the shop?" They're like, "Nah, it's all right, it's all good. I'm just watching my mates on Snapchat." And I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm simply saying that the consequence of the way things are going is that there's just less time for gratitude and appreciation, which will mean,
Mm.
unfortunately, there's more time for a breakdown in relationships. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah, and I feel like, things have changed as time's going on. Social media is becoming a huge thing and a huge front, isn't it? It's how the world actually works now. Not everybody's on social media. Don't get me wrong, my parents are not on social media, but us kids, our generation, we're all on social media. And, because social media has become so much more, like you've said, the checklist from that, and well, I'm not saying girls do it, boys do it, everyone does it, and everyone's an equal part to play in this. And I don't think people understand that when you have, just to see and you have your, wedding done, you have your ceremony done, and you have your lava, people don't understand that it's actually a partnership that you're going into, and the beauty of actual having lava is the fact that you've got, like you said, Guru Maharaj is actually there, you know, in essence, and you're going around, having your fere, and it's beautiful. It's such a beautiful feeling to actually have, but people
So,
don't
so
understand it, and people don't even, you know,
just on
they
that
just don't.
point,
Hmm.
just sorry to interrupt you. Just on that point, right? I was really grateful to be invited to a wedding a couple of weeks ago to explain at the wedding what was happening, right? And I met the singer before he got married, and he's about to get married. So you do realize that Guru Ram Das Ji Maharaj has invited you here today, and they're gonna bless you with lava, and you're gonna get blessed with lava. And he's like, "Sing." I've never thought about it. I've never ever thought about it because there's so many other things that that consume your mind up to the wedding, right? The wedding cake. I'm gonna say them in a way to basically reduce them right now to just put it in perspective how important it is. The wedding cake, whether there's a chocolate fountain, whether the photographer has got he's matching Ramal to the boys' side of the I don't know, yeah. Whether or not the tables have got the right kapra on it, yeah. These things are so nonsensical, right? And it was just bizarre to understand that this young man was about to get blessed with love from Guru Ram Das Ji Maharaj, right? I said, "Yo, Singh,
Mm.
you're about to be." And in that moment, everything changed, and all the things that were going through his mind just disappeared. He goes, "Yo, Singh, tell me about this. What am I about to get?" And we went through the lava, right? And it was just wonderful because he was so excited to get at that moment. And I use that word very purposefully, right? Like we've sort of lost that understanding of how exciting it is to get married. Let me give you an example, right? Do you remember? I mean, in my when growing up, sort of 5 years old, 6 years old. I don't know how it's crept in, but a lot of houses celebrate Christmas, right? Do you know that
Mm.
feeling on Christmas Day? You wake up and you go downstairs, you've got Nintendo Mega Drive or whatever it is, whatever it was that you were getting when you were a kid, right? And like that excitement to go downstairs because of what you were going to receive. If we truly understood the essence of Lama, right? On our wedding days, when we wake up, it wouldn't be about whether the makeup artist has arrived at 4 in the morning, yeah, or
Yeah.
whether or not the bride are on time. You'll just be consumed by an excitement because it's impossible not to get excited about the lava if you truly know what it means. It's impossible for that not to be the main thing in your mind if we know what it is. And we go back to that concept of gratitude, right? So leaving the guru card with your husband and wife, that's unfortunate. The focus in many instances, I'm not saying all instances, the focus in many instances is taking pictures to capture that moment, right? And the unfortunate thing is, whilst we're so busy taking pictures to capture the moment, we fail to capture it in our hearts. We fail to
Mm.
capture that in our hearts. And what we should be doing is, yo, Maharaj has just joined our souls. That's massive. Who's leaving the bar side thinking that? They're thinking, make sure you catch me at the right angle. And I think we have an obligation, I think, to learn from the mistakes that we've been through as this generation and ensure that our youngsters go into that darbar educated and properly understanding what they're going to receive. Because truly, I believe this, truly, that if you know what it is that you're receiving in the Guru's darbar, that will be your only focus. And if you know that when
Yeah.
you get married, that will also influence your relationship from that day forward, going forward. Does that make sense?
But yeah, and it's true, isn't it? Like a lot of us do focus on, we actually don't focus on the lava. We don't get, we're not, we don't even, and this is just my opinion to all my viewers that are watching. I feel like when we go to weddings, we're excited for the person to get married, the couple to get married, to watch it. But what we don't think about is like how, how Aman Baji's just said, we don't actually think about, the lava. Wow, they're actually getting blessed by Guruji to have the lava. What we do focus about, oh, cake ਕਿਦਾਂ ਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ, oh, ਗੋਲ ਗੱਪੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਲੇ, ਪਰੌਠੇ ਇਦਾਂ ਦੇ ਸੀ, ਚਾਹ ਠੰਡੀ ਸੀ, ਉਹ ਜਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਰੁਮਾਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਹੀ ਸੀਗਾ, ਫੁੱਲ ਇਦਾਂ ਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ. We focus on so many little things like that we actually forget that the essence of why, even as guests, why we're there at a wedding, or even couples that are actually there, they don't even think about this because there's that much going on in the background of our minds, and preparing for this actual big wedding day and preparing ourselves. But what people don't prepare themselves, and a really good thought to take away from today's show, is that you don't actually prepare yourself. A beautiful thought and a beautiful thing that Aman Baji's just said is that you're actually getting blessed by Guruji, and Guruji's actually invited you there to have that
Mm.
blessing.
Well,
And
on that point, just before we finish up, right? We've started this initiative, which I'm really passionate about. I want to just share with you guys. There's a Instagram page called Your Lava, right? Which I've partnered with amazing guys. And what we've done is we've created this ability for you to just book a speaker to come to your wedding to
yeah,
explain to all of the about the Anand Karaj, what's going to happen, what you're going to see, what each individual aspect of it means. And we've trialed it at a few weddings, and the response has been overwhelming because at the end of the day, it's no one's fault. No one's intentionally ignorant here. Everybody wants to know. And we live in an age now, which I think is quite exciting. We have so many pracharaks that are coming through, so many educators are coming through, that we have the opportunity to remove that ignorance, to dispel that darkness. And
mm,
so the idea is that you can contact your lava and you can book a speaker through their Instagram page to come to your wedding, and it's about 10 minutes long, the speech, the really basic education. And we found that people are just so grateful to have a chance to learn about it, to just understand basic aspects of a wedding, why the couple are walking in a circle around the guru, why
mm,
they do it 4 times, why the couple, as we mentioned a minute ago, are not facing each other, and what the significance of spiritual awakening is when we have the Anand Karaj. So I think when we start doing more and more of this education at weddings, we'll find that the focus naturally shifts away from the Ramal or the Golgappe, and the focus will naturally shift to the rightful place where it should be, which is what's actually going on here, and how lucky are the couple, and may I one day be blessed to receive this blessing, huh? And then all of a sudden we start truly recognizing the romantic nature of the Anand Karaj, of the lava ceremony that has been blessed to us by Guru Ram Das Ji Maharaj. And then we go back full circle to how we started about gratitude, right, and appreciation.
Yeah, and I agree. And even not just with that, also, whilst I've got you on this show, I mean, another just a quick question before we do wrap up for today, and come towards the end of the show. But I wanted to ask, you know, we when as you have the groom, don't you, who takes their galagi off. You know, we take our shoes off and things like that, and we go in, and they take their galagi off before they get married. Why is that? You know, because a lot of people don't understand that. Because when guys wear a galagi, you know, every guy that's, you know, as much as the bride wants to look really pretty for her wedding, but also the groom wants to look absolute dapper. You know, so why do they have to take their galagi off? What's the just to, so we understand and we educate people on that.
So there is only one worthy of wearing the kalgi in the darbar of the Guru. There is only one worthy of being called Kalgiawala, and that is the 10th form of Guru Nanak. That is the King of all kings. That is Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj, that warrior king, that warrior saint that would would give everything to this world, make all the greatest sacrifices. If you look at what Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj did, right, they are
Mm,
Kalgiawala. They sacrificed their 4 sons so that we can stand in the Guru's Darbar and get married as Sikh and not as any other Dharam, right? They
mm,
sacrificed their father for Hindus, that they can get married in mandirs and not by any other faith because of their love for the Sikh Dharma, right? So Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj, they are Kalgiya wala. They are the one that wears the Kalgi upon their dastar, and so for that reason, nobody should be furnished with a Kalgi before the 11th form of Guru Nanak, before the 11th form of Guru Gobind Singh Ji, which is Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. And so, for me personally, I don't see any reason why anyone should be wearing a kalgi in the first place. And this is just my personal opinion. The idea that you
mm,
walk in and that you take it off, this is a cultural thing that's crept in, and it's in some ways, if you think about it, if you're not worthy of wearing a kalgi before the guru, and then so you remove it, why put it on in the first place? It's like it's in my opinion, it's like saying something disrespectful and then saying I'm going to take it back. It's just, if you know you're going to take it back, don't say it in the first place. So,
mm,
I mean, we could talk about Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj for 15 for a million lifetimes and not be able to get to the end of their virtue. But just to double down on what I said a second ago, because it's quite a hard thing to digest, right? Maharaj, Maharaj sacrificed their forms, the Char Sahibzade, right, so that we can be here to receive lava from Guru Ram Das Ji Maharaj. If they hadn't made those sacrifices, we would probably be somewhere else getting married in a different way. And you can draw your own conclusions by what I mean, Hannah, by what was happening
mm,
across the subcontinent. And so they are Kalgiawala. They are the one. They are the one. And so in the presence of the Guru, nobody should be wearing a Kalgi. Not me, not any, Hannah. So I'm really glad
mm,
that you, it's the question that you raised. Let's, if I could make the humble suggestion, let's start educating ourselves. Again, nobody's doing this intentionally. Nobody doing that is doing it with an intention to disrespect the Guru. It's just a lack of understanding. Let's take the time to educate ourselves. And as we go before the Guru to get blessings, let's also be respectful, Hannah.
mm. And everyone that's watching today's show, just something that we've actually, I believe we've all learned is a lot of things that when we plan a wedding, is a lot of it is cultural. We don't necessarily need every part of the little things to be there. The main thing that we do need is obviously, that feeling of actually, wow, like I said before, we're going to be blessed by Guruji today, and Sanubalavaya, that we're going to actually go to Guru Maharaj's house today. Asi Waheguru Kar Janaya, and we're going to get blessed today. And that's such a beautiful feeling. And just hearing it, thinking about it, and when you actually think of it and you act with gratitude, when you think about it and just sit there with that thought, it is actually quite beautiful. Baji, thank you so much, Amen, for actually joining us on today's show. It's been really nice to actually have you and actually get a better understanding, and a bit more depth, so the generations and everyone that's watching can take something away from it. So thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate that.
It's been an honour to be on the show. Grateful. If anyone wants to learn more, it's a wonderful YouTube page which you probably have already heard of. It's called Basics of Sikhi. They're absolutely smashing it up. They're doing an amazing job. My friends over at Basics, where they're educating people about stuff. On the Basics of Sikhi YouTube page, there's a playlist called Anand Karaj Gatha, which is an 18-part series that goes into a great deal of depth, explaining each individual aspect of the Anand Karaj. So anybody getting married or has an interest in the Anand Karaj, you can check that out on the Basics of Sikhi YouTube page. Thanks for having me.
No, thank you so much. And I hope you guys stay safe, and I hope you guys stay safe and stay well. Asi ugly hafte fir milange. Same time Thursday at 9:30 on the Kiran Rai show. And I hope you guys have taken something away from today's show. For now, Waikato Kalsa, the Waikato Fate. Okay, that
How you
was a
doing, Kiran?
wrap.
Was that
I'm
okay?
okay. Let me just bring GURPS very quickly because I was like, shall we wrap up? Shall we wrap up? Because I've got a tendency to talk and I can talk for the world. And
I think that went
when
really
I
well.
need to get into it, I don't stop. And then he's like, cut, 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 cut.
Kiran, small request if you don't mind, while you're calling in.
Mm,
We've set up. We didn't plan for it to be so successful, but it's sort of taken off, right? We set
yeah,
up a Instagram page called Amandeep Singh East London, where we put up a 1 minute clip every few days about Sikh
yeah.
Dharma, and
Mm-hmm,
we didn't expect it to be so successful. We've got like a few thousand followers on it now.
mm,
If at any point you can put that in the bar, like for more information, or follow the page, because it's kind of doing a pretty decent job at giving like bite-sized chunks of Sikhi. If you
mm.
could drop that on that'd be really cool.
Yeah, I can ask. I can ask GURPS and then what? Ask. Are you on? Are you on? Actually, what is your Instagram? Let me do it now, so then I can find you
It's
on there.
if you just type in Amandeep Singh East London,
Yeah,
there's a
found
picture of
you.
me with a box.
Yeah, found you. Just sent you a request. Okay, that's fine. Just 1 second. Just gonna quickly, ring.
What channel is this for?
SIKH Channel.
Are you based in the Midlands?
Yeah, Coventry.
I should have busted you about that.